First, for the morning news, some of the benefits of online news are that it's up to the minute. It's updated very, very rapidly. Now, if you contrast that with alternative ways to get news, I can get news on the TV. It may be updated not quite as quickly as online news, but I have to sit and wait until the story that I want to hear about comes on. When I go online, I have that freedom to select the story that I want to read. I could also listen to the radio. Now, the radio, if I was busy doing something else, if I was getting ready in the morning, might be a good alternative because it's an audio-only medium. But that could be a negative too if I was looking for pictures or looking for something visual to see. Another way to get morning news would be the newspaper. And this is the way that traditionally people have gotten news over the last 100 years, but it's declined in readership every year. This is because newspapers, while they are tactile and something you can hold, are dated in their news. They're usually at least 6 or 7 hours old if you get them first thing in the morning, and so many things can change. They often don't include late night information such as scores of sports games from the previous night, and they're larger, a little bit more difficult to read. However, they are portable, so if you're going on a train and you don't have broadband access on your phone to read news, then a newspaper can be a useful way to get your morning news. Now, setting up the coffee break, I used instant messaging. Some of the benefits are it is instant, and I can get a response quickly, and I don't have to invest in a phone call and the opening and closing pleasantries of hello and goodbye in the conversation. Now, there are a number of other comm technologies I could use. I could call somebody, but as I mentioned, that could take longer than the instant messaging. I could send somebody an email, but they may not get it in time because there's not that instantaneousness of being able to call or being able to instant message. Now, I also could have used a text message, and that's very similar to instant messaging. Instant messaging, though, requires you to be in front of your computer. Text messaging is actually a little bit easier because people normally carry their phones with them if they are somebody that has a cell phone. Now, if I wanted to record a program after work, TiVo allows me to record it digitally, which allows me to skip time. I don't have to worry about rewinding or fast-forwarding a tape. I can fast-forward digitally at up to 4 times the speed, so I can get through the programs more quickly. Now, there are other television recording options. I could simply have a DVD recorder and then record DVDs of shows while I was gone and program that, but the cost of having a DVD far outweighs the cost of having the hard drive in TiVo that can re-record over and over and over again. I also could use a VCR, but the problem with the VCR, of course, is the tape and having to fast forward and rewind. However, if I wanted to take the program and show it to a friend at their house, the VCR allows me the portability of the videotape, which I don't have with TiVo. I would also have the portability of the DVD if I use the DVD recorder. Now, for entertainment driving to work, satellite radio characteristics are that you have to pay for it, which is a bit of a drawback, but on the flip side, you don't have to listen to commercials. You can get a wide range of different stations. They all come in clear as opposed to AM or FM, and you can choose what it is you want to hear uninterrupted. Now, the other options would be listening to a CD or listening to a cassette or other medium in the car or an MP3 player. Benefits of those are you get to choose the exact playlist. However, the drawbacks are if you're wanting to listen to the radio in order to connect with other people or learn things about the world, you're not going to get that from your own CD or MP3 player. Of course, the benefits of those are that they're cheaper than satellite radio many times, and for AM or FM radio, they're actually free as long as you have a tuner. Now, communicating at work, email can be useful. If I don't want to have to track somebody down or walk across campus, I can send them an email and then they can get back to me at their leisure. And so that way, I get to communicate with them, but I don't have to, again, take the time of the pleasantries since I can type faster than I can speak many times. I can also attach files if someone needs a report or information from me, so I can send them data fast, efficiently, in a way that they can read easily. Other options, of course, would be to call someone, and if I wanted to be a little bit more personal, I could do that, or I could go see them. Again, the drawbacks of those requires extra time. Using Blackboard for class assignments, some characteristics of Blackboard are that I can upload many different types of files. As you'll see through this course, I can upload videos, I can give you web links, I can upload documents, so it gives me a wide range of things that I can put up there without having to make copies and distribute those. Now, other ways to give out class assignments or manage class would be to copy and distribute those or to put together a course guide. If I put together a course guide, I'd have to charge you for it, so that would be more expensive for you, so Blackboard actually saves you money as students. Now the way we're meeting here, since we're not face-to-face, it'd be a little bit more difficult to give you copies of things as they came up. So with Blackboard, I can just upload those at that time. I've already discussed the different technologies that can be used in the classroom. I can use a marker board, or I can use an overhead projector. A document camera can show the same things on a document that I could show on the board in a little neater fashion. Since my handwriting is a bit sloppy, it's not as well organized when I put it on the board. However, if I'm using a PowerPoint or something pre-arranged, it's harder to go with the flow of the class. If the students give me concepts in a different order than they are in the book, I have more agility when I use the whiteboard in order to put those up as they come up or explore different routes of interest that the students have. Now the characteristics of the cell phone let you take it anywhere. You can send text messages from it. Many you can now take photos and videos on that are good enough to distribute or show to others. Other alternatives would be a landline phone, and this may be a little bit more reliable in that I don't have some reception in certain areas with my cell phone. That's a concern that's going away each year though. The other drawbacks of having a landline phone only is I can only get a message if I'm where that landline phone is, or I have to call in to get my messages instead of having them with me delivered more quickly on my cell phone. So some of the communication technology characteristics to think about are time. Is it a synchronous style of communication or asynchronous? When you're on the phone or face-to-face, it's synchronous. You're communicating in real time. When you're sending an email, it's asynchronous. Some of our communication technologies today fall in between. Instant messaging, while it is technically asynchronous, it's very close to synchronous because those messages usually go back and forth pretty quickly. The same thing can be said for text messaging. You also want to think about the communication type. Is it interpersonal, one-to-one, like a text message or an instant message? Is it mass comm, which could be an email that you send out to a number of people? Or is it a small group communication, where you have just a few people that receive the message? Content selection is also important. Is it limited self, is it self, or is it other? Something like satellite radio would give you limited self, in that there are a limited number of channels, but you can self-select to which one. If you wanted to listen to a CD or MP3s, you have your choice of anything that you want to listen to that you own, so that's wholly self-selected. Or is it other? When you open the newspaper, someone else has selected the content to go in there, so it's other on content selection. Also, you have content generation. Did you generate it yourself? Is it something that you created? Or is it other? So you can create your own music, you can create your own web pages and communicate that way, or you can create your own email messages and send those to other people. So did you generate the content, or did someone else, such as a television broadcaster, generate it? What are the implications for each of these four characteristics or categories of characteristics on how the message takes place and is transmitted? So now that we've thought about what I use on a daily basis, I want you to think about what you use on a daily basis in the PPCTA, the Personal and Professional Communication Technology Assignment. What it will be is a 1 to 2 page paper, double-spaced. There will be 2 parts. In the first part, you will identify 3 communication technologies that you use on a semi-daily basis and tell what you use them for. For each of these, list 1 alternative communication technology that you could accomplish the same task with and tell why you don't use that one. The second part requires you to do a bit of research. You'll need to research the types of communication technology that are most commonly used in the profession that you will be going into. If you don't know exactly what you want to do when you grow up, choose a job that your major would qualify you for. Describe the 3 most commonly used comm technologies in your future job and tell what functions each performs. This will be worth 15 points as to how well you complete the 2 parts. For an additional 5 points, you will post a portion of your paper detailing the most surprising one of the comm technologies that you found out you would be using at work, and comment on at least 2 other people's discussion posts about their PPCTAs. You can find a separate document with this information in Unit 1, and you can also find the link to the discussion section on this particular topic in Unit 1 as well.